In this video, we're going to work on brush, knee, and push. And I've seen this done several different ways, so definitely make it fit to your style and the way that you do it. I'm going to show two variations on this. One is the way that we do it in the 24 form, and then I'm going to show the way that we do it in our long form. And that way you have a choice as to which one you want to practice. Some people like one a little bit more, some people like the other. Just work with what is most fun for you, but also what needs to be worked on the most. For the started brush, knee, and push in the 24 form, remember that we come out of the white crane, spreads its wings, and we end up here. So the right hand is palm up, and left hand is palm down by the right shoulder. Your weight is all on the right foot. That's your rooting leg. Your left leg is just gently touching the floor next to your right foot. Here. First thing that we're going to do is circle step, out, and as we shift, bend the right arm, drop the left arm. And as you shift forward, you brush with the left and push with the right. Then rock back, push across with the right hand as your body turns, and as you turn the left foot out, root into the left leg, and as you bring your right leg in, the right hand drops down to the left shoulder and the left arm comes up. Again, circle step, this time with the right. Gently touch with the heel. As you shift, left arm bends, right arm drops. Shift forward and push. Rock back, turn to the right. Left hand pushes across. Left hand comes up, or left hand comes down as the right hand comes up. Circle step with the left leg. Gently touch with the heel. Left hand drops, right arm bends. Push through. Rock back. Turn to the left as the right arm pushes across the front. Here. So check to make sure that your arms aren't way up or way down. They should be right at about shoulder height. Rooted into the left leg, circle step with the right, gently touch with the heel. As you shift, the right hand drops, the left hand comes in, and you push forward. Rock back, turn, come in. Circle step. As you shift, the left hand drops, that's the one that brushes the knee. The right hand comes in for the push. There. So some things to really look for in this one. Just like when we were doing parting the horse's mane, when you do that circle step, make sure you aren't ending up on the exact same line with this leg, so that when you turn forward, it's like you're walking a tightrope and you're really off balance. From here, when you step out, you want to step wide enough that when you shift forward, this leg's on this side of your center line, this one's on this side of your center line, and it gives you stability to the sides rather than that wobbliness if they're on the same line. Be careful you don't step too far though. You don't want to leave everything open and exposed. Another thing to be careful of, as you bring this back arm in, the pushing arm, so you do your step, as this comes in, don't bring the shoulder up and then push out. Leave everything relaxed. Come here, sinking down, shoulders are sinking. Here your elbow drops as this comes in. And you push forward. And settle the wrist at the end. There. Don't just push like this. Come out with the fingertips. Settle the wrist. Another thing to look for in this one is with that back arm. That one can give you a lot of trouble, so really pay attention to it as you're learning this one and as you're getting used to it. When you push with this, you want to bring it in close and push here with the elbow down. There. Don't push like this with the elbow out. This is a much weaker pushing position than this. So as you push, be sure that you keep that elbow in. And keeping the elbow in is what tends to make people bring that shoulder up. They're trying to keep the elbow in close, and so they keep it in close up high, and it pushes that shoulder up. So be sure you drop that elbow as you're coming in and push out. And that'll let you keep it in close so you have a good strong push that your whole body's behind, instead of just depending on the strength of your triceps here to try to push out from there. Because that's really what you're doing when you put the arms out to the side. When it's turned like this, it's a little bit different. That allows your body structure to get involved. But when you're doing a push where the fingers are up as your palms are pushing, if the elbows come out, that's actually a weaker position to push from. So make sure those elbows stay in as you push. There. Okay? Another thing to be aware of is the pushing hand as it comes out. You're coming out with the fingertips, and then it's like they hit a wall and the wrist continues. So as you come out, you don't want to come out here and then pull the fingers back. You want to come out, and it's like your fingers hit a wall and the wrist continues. Some people think that that's a foolish way to do that, because if you were fighting someone, you would never come out with your fingers first, because it's very easy for you to break your fingers. Depending on how conditioned your hands are, that's a pretty valid reason to not want to start with the fingers. The reason we do that in the form, though, and as we're practicing these basic movements, is that you wouldn't actually do that in a fight. If you're fighting with someone and you're getting ready to do a move where you're striking with the palm, you wouldn't come out like this first, unless you were actually doing like a throat jab or something. You'd come out here. So why do we do that? There's two main reasons. One is practicing putting power into the wrist as you strike, there, instead of just pushing. That adds a little extra oomph to it. Another reason is when you get into push hands, sometimes you'll come in contact with your partner with just your fingertips. Well, if you know how to kind of snap that wrist to add power to a strike, then even at close range, when you come in and you touch, you can strike. And it's not just a push, but you can use that wrist action that you're practicing here to get a strike in at very close range. So it's really working on sensitivity and really working on the timing to put your body behind that strike. So if you're watching this and you have thought in the past that it's very foolish to come out with the fingertips, I agree with you to the extent that it would be foolish to do that in a fight, where if you're getting ready to push someone, you start with the fingertips. There are applications for that where you're doing finger jabs to the eyes or throat. But in this, the reason that we do it is starting with the fingertips and settling the wrist trains your body's connection so you can put power into a strike at close range here with that wrist action, and it allows you to train for that. So that's why we do it. If you're wondering why, it is a very important thing to train that for the martial application, but also for getting used to connecting your body through the movement. If you just practice like this, well, you are working on connecting your whole body, but there's more that can be done in connecting your mind and body through these exercises, and this helps with that, even though it's a very small thing. So now I'll do it coming towards you so you can see what that looks like. So just like in the 24 form, we finish, the white crane spreads its wings. You're in this posture with the right hand palm up, left hand palm down next to the right shoulder. You do your circle step, making sure it's not stopping on the same line, but going a little past. Left hand drops to brush past the knee. The right arm bends with the elbow dropping. You push and settle the wrist. Then you rock back. Turn. Notice as I turn, my right hand's pushing across the front here. Then it comes in to the left shoulder. From here, I do my circle step again. Gently touch with the heel as I shift. Push through, again settling that wrist at the end. Rock back, turn. Circle step with the left. As I come forward, the left hand drops, right arm bends, and I push. Rock back, turn. Feet come in. Circle step. As I shift, the right arm drops, left hand pushes through and settles the wrist. Turn. Circle step. Shift. Turn. Remember, as you practice these, you don't have to do really wide stances, especially if you're working on getting your balance to improve. And if you step really far, it tends to throw your balance off. It's totally valid when you're here to step that far and come through. The main thing that's tricky on that is making sure everything moves together and you have the timing and you don't go here and there. The first time, everything was connected. I'm shifting forward as my arms are doing what they're doing. The second time, I shifted forward and my arms move by themselves, which is a much weaker way to do that move, and it's also not integrating the entire body and mind together as you do that particular move. So a variation on this that can be a lot of fun and flow a little bit better than with the circle step is when you step through with this. So your first one, you would end up doing a circle step and then coming through. But the second time you do it, come back, turn, and you're just going to step through with this leg. Instead of circle stepping, it comes through, touches, and then you come forward and push. Everything else is the same, body structure, everything. Turn, and here, step through. Here. So that can make it flow a little bit better. If you like that variation, feel free to practice that. I'll do that one going to the side a few times so you can see what that looks like. Then we'll do a whole nother variation of this particular move. So from here, start with the circle step, push through. Rock back. Here you turn, root into the left leg, and then you just step straight through with the right. There. And push. Turn. Here, root into the right leg, step through, and shift. So as you can see, it flows a little bit easier when you're just stepping through and shifting, turning, stepping through, and shifting. The reason that I usually have my students start with the circle step, though, is that helps train your balance a little bit better, because instead of just stepping through in a straight line, you're having to contend with your balance as this leg goes in a circle. So it really helps strengthen your hip flexors and abductors as it's coming out and going around and shift. So it's a good training step to do the circle step. So if you still feel that your balance is a little bit wobbly and you want to work on that, definitely train the circle step more than you train stepping straight through. So here's the variation that we do in the long form. It's the same brush knee and push. The timing's a little different and the step's a little different. When we do a brush knee, instead of brushing the knee as we're shifting forward, we brush the knee and lift that leg up. Then as we step, we bend the back arm and shift through. So it's very different in its step. If you're learning the long form, or if that's how you do it in your style, feel free to do it that way. If right now you're still working on the 24 form and you're in my classes, please work on it the first way. Otherwise, it will get confusing. This is only for students who have moved on to the long form. So I'll do it going to the side so you can see what that looks like. We'll simply start here, lifting this hand up just like in the 24 form, when this would be here, but instead of bringing the left hand in here, it's going to drop down and sweep past the left leg. As we do that, we pick up the left leg. So it's here. Then you bend the right arm as you step out, and as you shift, you push through. There. Then you rock back. Circle the left hand so it's palm up, and you push across with the right, just like before. Shift into the left leg, and as you come up, this right hand drops down, the left hand comes up back behind, and you raise the right knee here. Then it's step out, and shift, pushing through. Rock back, right hand goes palm up, shift to the right leg, root into that leg, left hand drops down, right hand comes up. Step out, and shift, pushing with the right arm. Rock back, left hand palm up, shift, root into the right or the left leg, lift the right leg, right hand drops, left hand palm up behind, step out, and shift here. So as you can see, very different, but the same move. Very similar application. Now I'm going to do it coming towards you. One of the big differences in this one, aside from the real obvious difference, is after we do the push, when we rock back to change, instead of just pushing across here, as we push across, using body motion, from the hips, you rotate the bottom hand. So it goes from palm down, from the brush, knee, and push, brush the knee, you rock back and turn the bottom hand palm up, and then push across and come up. Okay? So it's step out, shift, push, rock back, here, body motion, turn the right hand palm up, here, push across with the left, and as you come through with this left foot, drop the left hand straight down. There. Something that a lot of people like to do as they're learning this one, after they do this push through and they rock back and turn, they like to bring this top hand all the way in front of them. Then when they go to bring it down, their leg's in the way and they have to do this kind of crazy flying around the leg to get their hand where it's supposed to be. So something that will save you a little frustration and make everything flow a little bit better is after you do this push and you rock back and turn, notice how this hand, when I turn, stays out here. So when I bring this leg up, it can just drop straight down. So make sure you keep it out here when you do that turn so it can drop down for this and then step through. Now I'll do it a few times coming towards you so you can see how that looks. As the left hand comes down, the left leg comes up, and the right hand comes up back behind to shoulder height here. You step, and as you shift forward, bring the elbow in, settle the wrist at the end. Okay? And turn your hips into it as you come in, just like before. Left hand turns palm up, push across the front. As you come through, the right hand drops, and the left hand comes up. Here. Step through, bend this back arm. As you step, bring the elbow in, and push forward. There. Rock back. Turn the bottom hand, palm up. Turn out to the right. As you come forward, rooting on the right leg, the left hand drops down, the left leg comes up, and the right hand comes up back behind. Then you step and shift, settling the wrist. Rock back, turn, come through, up, step through, shift, settle the wrist. So that's the variation, and when we do our test in class, if you are in my class and you're going to be testing, either one of those will work for the test. If you're just learning this, feel free to practice both of them or change it to fit your style. Thanks for watching.